The following program has been rated GE by the Kenya Film Classification Board. It is therefore suitable for general family viewing.
Hello viewers, welcome to Chungu cha Jamii. I'm your host, Eunice Mugo. Today on the show, I have guests who have come so that we can talk about sex and intimacy, but in marriage. The topic is sex and intimacy, but again, I'd like us to emphasize in marriage or in relationships. So send in your question across all our social media networks, that's GBS TV Africa. Our SMS line is 21144. I will allow our guests to introduce themselves. I'll start from my right with the counselor. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Hello viewers, my name is Faith Jogu, a marriage counselor and relationship coach, and I welcome you to this show today.
Welcome, Madam Faith. We'll go to this other side for the couples. Allow me to introduce you.
Hello viewers, my name is Lois Mike. I'm glad to be here.
Welcome, Lois.
Thank you.
Good morning, viewers. My name is Michael Korea. I am glad to be here. 9 years in marriage.
Wow, excellent. Welcome on the show. So today we're talking about this interesting topic that, Faye, as a counselor, what are some of the questions or issues that couples are facing in this day-to-day life in matters regards to marriage and relationships at large?
Thank you. There are so many issues that are affecting couples because if a couple do not have a good foundation of their relationship, these problems or conflicts will keep on coming, and intimacy and sex is one of the problems. If it is not put well in a relationship, it will become a conflict. But when a couple understand what is their role in a relationship or in marriage and in intimacy and sex, then there will be no problem. But the problems are there because people do not understand really what is intimacy, because intimacy and sex are two different things. Because we find people thinking that because I have seen you today, I say, wow, I'm so intimate to so-and-so, which is wrong, because intimacy takes time. You need to know this person and study this person and continue building intimacy intentionally. Then after building intimacy, when you get into marriage, then there is part of sex. Yeah.
Wow, thank you so much for that, Madam Faith. Lois, coming to you and Mike. 9 years in marriage is not a short time. Actually, you passed the 7 years. As we so say, if you pass 7 years, then you're meant for each other. So having that in mind, the first years of maybe dating and getting married, what was your perspective in regards to the same intimacy and sex, and now today, where you are at this particular time?
Okay, I would say it had to start with friendship before we get to being intimate. You have to be friends as you court, as you get in the line of being married. And when you're friends, when you have a good relationship, dropping into intimacy, it's easy. But when you're not friends, it's not easy to get into intimacy. So you have to be friends first for some time. You get to know your partners or your friends' weaknesses, you know their strengths, and then from there you are able to build intimate lifestyle. Yeah.
Mike, what is your take on this?
Well, my perspective to begin with, my parents have been together for over 40 years. So I can say by the time I was getting into it, I had an idea of what it's all about.
Sure.
There was a good foundation where I never even saw my dad even once lift his hand to hit my mother. So by the time I am getting into marriage, I believed in it as an institution that works, and that intimacy and sex were part and parcel of this whole package of marriage. Yes.
How influential is this intimacy and sex when it comes to marriage? What influences it? What would you say influenced it? Now that you're together as friends, getting to know each other, now, as Madam has said, you have to build it intentionally, because it's not a wake-up thing and say, now, it's there, it's there. It's something that you have to cultivate on. What was the influence for you to cultivate on it?
Well, to begin with, the influence began by the counseling that we got, the premarital counseling about what sex is all about. And our mentor back then made it so clear that you need to be intimate. Intimacy simply means connecting with your partner from an emotional state to a mental state. Then after connecting with that partner, sex now becomes the platform through which you can now deliver the emotions, the intimacy. It's now that right platform that enables you to truly deliver. So the fact that you understand what intimacy is all about and what sex is an influential factor in it. Yes.
Relative over time, as it does it grow, or getting used to it? Because from this, when you're getting to know each other, you're more frequently clenching to your partner, you want to spend more time with them, but over the time you find that responsibilities, duties and everything necessarily don't give you the much luxury of time that you had before. Maybe comparing it to the first year in marriage and now you're in the 9th year.
Yes.
Would you say it's the same or it has changed over the time?
Okay, of course it changes. Bearing in mind as the time goes, there happen to be responsibilities, and with the responsibilities, time becomes limited, and though at the same time you intentionally create time. You have to intentionally create time for your partner. You have to be intentional in what you do. The responsibility should not take bigger part of your intimacy life, because I believe children or other things should not separate you.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and they should not make you change in your intimate life. Yeah.
Madam Faye, what is your take on the same? Because there is that laxity when you're married. For maybe taking the example, married for the 9 years, now you're sure, he's not going to leave you, Mike is not going to leave you, so you're relaxed now. You know, he's not going anywhere, she's not going anywhere, so with or without, let's just go with it. What is your take on that in regards to also what you face day to day in your profession?
Yeah, in regard to what I face, when you get into marriage and there is those responsibilities, so many people start assuming sex. And as you grow together in marriage, if you don't make sex intentional, sometimes you find people who even can go up to 6 months without having it. And when that happens, these relationships start breaking. Because sex, first of all, intimacy connects you. It's where love continues. When you're intimate with somebody, the love that you started continues growing. Then it leads you to sex. And sex is the super glue of any relationship. Sex is the oil that lubricates our marriages. So with the time, you find that because of the conflicts that comes in and the responsibilities, people assume that this is not a thing. True. But those who want to build strong marriages, they make it intentional. Yeah, they make it intentional in such that I know that my partner having sex is a need. So I must be able to fulfill that need because it is a need. So when couple make sex intentional, it becomes even good and pleasurable. Yeah.
Now that you have difference in sex and intimacy, taking this in the angle of the long distance relationship, from a man's perspective, how do you grow or nurture your intimacy with your wife when you're not around?
Well, excuse. To begin with, if it's a long distance relationship, it means that you have even to work more harder than the ones that are close together. Something like communication should be key in that you talk on a daily basis, even if daily, as much as you can. And bearing in mind we have technology nowadays, you can communicate via video chat and so forth. So there are many platforms. So when it comes to long distance, you have to make an investment in terms of communication, in terms of you intentionally do things for the fact that you understand that if you do not do these things, there is separation that is going to come. Mark you, your partner is away, meaning that he or she does not have a shoulder to lie on. So if you do not work hard on that, it's going to bring a separation. I have seen many relationships that had that gap. They ended up breaking up simply because they did not know and understand the rules that pertain a long-distance relationship. For example, if there's an issue that has not yet been sorted, it is good for that particular couple to sort it immediately. Otherwise, an issue will build up inside your heart, and then you start creating other things in your mind that this person maybe is finding solace somewhere else. So you have to find a way that allows you to be that solace despite that they are far. Otherwise, our enemy, the devil, is like a roaring lion. He will find a loophole and he will come and interfere with that.
True. What is your take on the same, madam? And also, from the lady's perspective, would you say that our intimacy, what we mean by intimacy is different from what men see?
Okay, yeah. I would say it depends with different people because there is what I feel he's intimate about me, and another person may not feel the same way I feel it. Him getting me a chocolate, maybe showing intimate, he's intimate to me, and someone else is about having money. So it depends with individuals. That's what I would say. Yeah.
What is your perspective as now Lucy, not Lucy, Lois. What is your perspective as in terms of long distance relationship? What would you say that one should do to cultivate the intimacy part now? Because sex is out of question because of the distance. Now we have to make it to be the anchor to maintain your relationship. What do you say about it?
I would say communication and a lot of communication in everything. Is a child not feeding well? Communicate. You keep on communicating in everything. You don't have to let, because your partner is far, you're doing everything on your own. Involve this partner wherever he is. Let him or her understand what you're going through. Yeah.
Thank you for that. From your professional perspective, have you encountered couples who have been in a long-distance relationship? Because from the few research that I have gotten and listening to different people, they say that long-distance relationship works simply because he or she doesn't get to see you every day. So when they come back, they concentrate on me, not the mistakes that I do. But when he or she is around, we end up having a lot of conflicts. and we end up fighting because you're now saying I'm not doing A, B, C, D, so on and so forth. What is your take on that?
I would say that long distance relationships works because of what the couple has said, communication.
True.
You need to communicate so that you connect with your partner daily. Because when you communicate, it means that you are connecting with your partner, even if it is not physically. Once you talk with somebody via the phone or via the video, then you're connecting with that person emotionally. And when you connect with this person, you continue growing the intimacy. You become more intimate, even when you're far away. But those who say that it works because of you are away, I don't think that is the reason. Because if you're together, like this couple, and you want your relationship or marriage to work, it will work. But if you assume, then it will not work. So even those who are away and those who are together, marriage is all about working on it. Yeah.
True. I think I agree with that because someone once said that when you come to marriage, you come with an empty box. So you have to put something in it before you start withdrawing from it. So I'd like to also want to understand, how now do I know, or what are the signs of intimacy now? Now, this person is maybe saying dating or getting to know each other. Now, how do you know that we are growing from just being friends to being more than friends? What are the signs of intimacy are we supposed to see? Like the way we say red flags. When you see this is a red flag. No, what are the signs for intimacy?
Okay, before we reach to the signs, you must build it first. In building it first, you must build it spiritually. That is, you build spiritual intimacy. This is whereby you are paying allegiance to the same higher power.
Wait, let me contradict and ask. I first have to build it. How am I going to build something that I don't know I'm in it?
You be in it when you know you are in love. Yeah?
So what are
But
the signs
it
to know
doesn't
that
just
I'm in
come.
love?
You see, you want to be in a relationship. You know, being in a relationship, it doesn't just come. There must be somebody who came and told you, you know what, I love you, I want to be with you. You see? Then from there, you accepted. Yeah? After accepting that relationship, you start building intimacy now. Because if you do not build this intimacy, that love will not continue. Yeah?
I've heard someone saying, I even didn't know when I was in a relationship. Nilijikuta tu. So from that person, nilijikuta, I even didn't know when I said yes. Because I believe when you propose to me and I say yes, as ladies, correct me if I'm wrong, we are very keen with dates. Now, this one that nimejikuta doesn't know even the anniversary dates.
Watu hujikuta.
As in, we've been friends because now we are friends. So we talk so much, we call so much, we spend most of the time together. And to my innocent thinking, we are just friends. But over the time we realize, I have feelings for him. And he also has feelings for me. So now we want to take it to the next step. We barely even know we are taking it to the next step. But now we are there. Now how do we maneuver from that now? Of nimejikuta.
Umejikuta. You know, when you umejikuta, it's when you are in romance stage. The dopamine hormone is so high. That is the feeling good hormone. So even when your partner has a problem, you don't realize. You don't even see the red flags. Even when I tell Lois, you know, Mike is not good, Lois can't see because the dopamine hormone is the feeling good hormone is high. Now, that is the time watu hujikuta. But after kujikuta, then you'll find yourself in the second stage. Wakati sasa, you're already in this marriage. And if you had not built this intimacy, then it becomes a problem. That's why I was trying to say, you need to build intimacy first. And building intimacy has 4 levels. Level number one is spiritual intimacy. Are we paying allegiance to the same higher power? If you are, for example, Lois and Mike are Christians. So it means they are paying allegiance to the same higher God. So spiritually, they are the same. They are together. You see? Then from there, you build social intimacy. Are we together?
Yes, yes,
Good.
yes.
You build social intimacy, whereby we can do a game together, for example. Let's say I like watching movie, but my partner likes football. It means if I want to build social intimacy, I can sacrifice my time and go and watch football just for his sake. Yeah? And he can sit with me at night and watch a movie just to build that intimacy.
Wow.
Yeah? Then there is emotional intimacy. This is where you feel like if my partner has a problem, I get into the shoe. I can feel his pain. Yeah? Then there is another level of intellectual intimacy. This is where I can appreciate him and he can also appreciate me. And this is where many couples are failing because they don't know the art of appreciating. Because appreciating someone is building intimacy.
True.
Yeah.
Wow. I think I was lost hapo kwa if he likes football and I like watching movie. Wow. Viewers, I hope you're learning as much as I am. I hope you're taking notes. Continue sending in your question across all our social media networks. That's GBS TV Africa. Our SMS line is 2144. We'll be back shortly.
Everywhere, GBS.
Welcome back, viewers. This is Chungu cha Jamii. Today we are talking about sex and intimacy. What is it that you're going through in your marriage? Are you intimate? Do you do it intentionally? Are you getting sick and tired of it? Well, this is the time for you to learn more about it, where you go wrong, where you need to improve, what you need to do so that you may enhance your intimate in relationship. We understand that there is a difference between sex and intimacy. Cultivate on your intimacy part, then the sex bit of it will just flow smoothly. So send in your question, your comments across all our social media networks. That's GBS TV Africa. Our SMS line is 2144. So before we went on a break, Madam Faith mentioned on something about compromising. From the school of thought of the man's perspective, you like football. 90% of men like football. Now allow me to attack you with this, since I'm Patiana, the good example. Now you like football, she doesn't like football. Now do I have to go through the torment of watching football with you in the name of intimacy?
From a man's perspective, she should in fact even support the team that I support.
What?
When I say I don't like this, she should support and also say she does not like this. That is what supporting means. That what I like, she likes, and what I don't like, she does not like.
I think that is why we are different and unique in our own ways. You can't tell me because you hate chicken, you should not eat chicken. I mean, let's be fair. Continue.
That is how it should be. Okay. But now, from 9 years of marriage, you come to understand that this is a lady and she has a way of thinking. So you work with knowledge that this person might not like what I want. So I'll work with also what she wants, and we both find compromise in that we find a position where both of us are comfortable for the sake of sustaining the marriage. Remember, we are one in marriage, but does not mean that I have to force her into my ideology. I can only try to align her as she also aligns me. We both align one another, and then we become one as per the mind of Christ for us.
Then I think in this case, the best thing and you showing intimacy and maybe your partner is not a fan of what you watch or what you're a fan of, you can still be together if it is on the in the living room. You stay together, enjoy. I enjoy what I enjoy, and he enjoy what he enjoys. But we are in the same room, where in case he wants to communicate to me, he just pause, I pause, and then we talk.
But I think from that, we are living in two different worlds, because I'm in my phone, you're in your phone, and now kila mtu na earphone somewhere. How are we living when we say enjoy your space? I get to understand enjoy your space, I enjoy my own space. But again, if we have children and they see that we don't agree in that, in as much as they don't agree in football.
Yes.
Now, how are we going to tell the children about what I enjoy is not what your papa enjoy?
They are also in their own world.
Wow. Okay, so we are living in the same roof, under the same roof, but everyone in their own
to
world.
Entertainment, you don't have to force me to get entertained to what entertains you. Yeah. Like him is a fan of movies. I'm not.
You're a fan of documentaries?
I'm a fan of documentaries and Kinakambiwa Jesus, those things. Those are the things I follow.
Madam Faye. Yeah. Now this one is very serious, because when you mentioned, actually I was taking that.
But now we have to be at the same place. We are enjoying it, but kila mtu ako pande yake. Akismile pia mimi nasmile.
Do you feel offended?
Well, not really, because number one, maybe she is watching a soap opera. Hata kama nampenda aje, I cannot sit down and watch a soap. And that is me, as much as I love her. So when it comes to entertainment, we both have to understand that you can enjoy your entertainment, but does not mean that if I don't enjoy yours, we are not together. No, we are very much together. But on this matter, kindly just enjoy yourself.
I like the example that you've used, because that's what I'm going to use it against you. She likes soap operas, and you as Mike, you don't like it at all.
Yes.
Now you like football.
Yes.
For lack of, I don't know, what is your team? Before I give you Arsenal.
Arsenal.
Jesus. And she's not an Arsenal fan.
Yes.
I find pleasure in dissing anyone who is in Manchester for absolutely no reason. And also dissing someone with absolutely no reason. I'm not a football fanatic, but I just find pleasure, especially when they are beaten. I like just teasing them. So with that, if I'm not in your team and you say that I should support as your teammate to support your team, and I don't like it, are you going to excuse her the same way?
That's why I began by saying that is maybe how it should be. That is a man's perspective. But when you come into marriage, these are two different people created in different ways with different school of thoughts. So you have to find that balance. So if you do not find that balance, I will force her into my world, she will force me into hers, and that is what is causing breakages. But now, when you understand that marriage is not an institution like work, it is not politics. These are souls who have lived apart for many years, maybe 30 years, then they are coming together, trying to align their belief system and finding a system that works for them. Sure. Every marriage has a system that works for them. If I try and enter Madam's Faith's marriage and try to live like her and her husband, there will be a problem somewhere. Sure. Because I did not marry Faith. Faith has her own views of life. I married Lois, and 9 years has helped me to understand her views. So I know how to live with her in light of her views. So knowledge is a key that sustains marriage, is a key that helps people stay together, understanding. But when maybe we are young, we get into it, you think it's all about sex, it's all about romance, it's all about this, you know. But with time you realize it is beyond all that. It is understanding. Once you understand your partner, you will live with them comfortably.
Wow. I like that. It has answered like everything that I wanted to ask. Faith, coming to you. What is your take on the same?
Okay. Number one, I don't agree on we are in the same living room, but doing different things, because this is like when we have phones, we are 4 of us. You have your phone, I have my phone, Lois. Let's assume Lois and Mike is daddy and mommy, we are the kids, kila mtu ako kivyake. So it is not bringing us together as a family. And that's why you'll find that phones are breaking homes. Yeah? But those who are intentional, even if I'm watching my own, maybe it's a soap opera and he's watching a game, there is a time you'll come together and connect. But if you want to build intimacy, because intimacy is connection, it is emotional connection. If you want to build intimacy, Mike is not supposed to force Lois to watch football. But Lois, if is intentional in building social intimacy, because there are levels of intimacy. Like I said, there is spiritual. If Lois is intentional in building social intimacy, she can sit with Mike and just watch and give him company. Yeah, you see, that is what I mean. It is not a must, but they can sit together and watch the same channel. Yeah, it's like right now we are live in GBS. Mike wants to watch live. Lois wants to watch movie. You see, there will be that conflict. We have one television in the room. Yeah, there will be a conflict. But if Lois understands that this is the marriage that I want to build, then they can say, tutawatch halfway, your kipindi, and mine halfway. You see, you build social intimacy. But if you do not want to build social intimacy, because social intimacy is about you being social together. It's about you going with your partner to the golf club. That is social. It's about you going to the date out together. Yeah? It's about you going out to dance together. That's how you are building social intimacy. But if you do not need to build that social intimacy, then there will be no problem. Because there's other things that you're doing together. And those who are unable to build like spiritual intimacy, let me give you an example that you'll use on us. Like we have a Muslim and a Christian marrying. They have gotten into this marriage, but they do not believe in the same thing. You see? Sure. These people, yeah, they will be married. They will have their own structure of marriage. But when it comes to spiritual intimacy, they'll be like this. I believe in Christ. You believe in Muhammad or whatever they call it. Yeah. So they will still work their marriage with their own structure, but their spiritual intimacy, there is a gap. So that's why I told you, intimacy is not what people think. Because people think, oh, I'm intimate with so and so, we go to sex. Intimacy is a thing that you build intentionally with time.
What I'm learning is intimacy is not sex, because, well, I think initially I could think or conclude that when I say I'm intimate with him, it means that we are sexually intimate. Not in the perspective of which we're tackling now, or after understanding that intimacy is something different. Now, coming to you, madam.
Yes.
Do you think, in your own perspective, I don't know how you're going to answer this, but do you think you sacrifice more into marriage than he? in
No.
regards to entertainment, in regards to responsibilities and so forth?
We work together.
True.
Yeah. In everything we work together. But when it comes to entertainment,
You sacrifice more.
there
I
are those,
think-
there are those of Kukumelon. There are those of Idagariene. So in this case, we have to understand one another.
Let me also ask before I get to you, Mike. As mothers, as wives, as ladies, personally, my own perspective when it comes, now that you're talking also about entertainment, I feel when it comes to such things, ladies, we sacrifice a lot. Because if my son is using my phone to watch Cocomelon, then I'll have to watch with him. If he is watching football or if my husband is watching football, I also have to sacrifice, tolerate the football that I don't like, just to keep him company. But when I'm doing my soap operas, my son and my husband is nowhere to be seen. I'm left alone with my own TV. Do you support, as ladies, before I get to Mike? Yes or no? Do you support that? Or do you feel that is what happens? That is my own perspective.
Yeah, in most cases, that's what's happening.
Okay. What about you, Madam Faye?
Yeah, it do happen that way.
And do you think it's fair for us women to be sacrificing so much for men?
No, it is not fair. We are supposed to work the marriage together.
Sure.
Nobody should be sacrificing. If there is sacrificing, then both of us should do. Yeah.
Mike, now to you.
Yes.
What do you think of the same? Do you think that it is, how do I put it now? Do you think that women have been graced enough for us to be subjected to all that, and yet when it comes to our part, the grace is not sufficient?
Well, to begin with, the Bible says that a wise woman builds her house. The foundation of wedding for marriages and houses, women play a vital role. Men play the role of a leader. And as a leader, as long as I'm out of that door, I'm doing something for the good of that family. That is what is in my heart. That is the kind of sacrifice I am making. So the only platform that I can find sometimes to relieve myself from all this stress of life is maybe a bit of entertainment when I just arrive and take the remote. Not because I have an issue against my wife, it is just that maybe it's just a platform that is available at that particular moment. The moment I leave that house, I go to church, I have responsibility. I go to work, I have responsibility. I am everywhere I am, as a man, as a leader, I have responsibility. So when ladies are asked to maybe sacrifice a bit on that part, it is okay, it is good. You love your man, so you allow him, you love him so that he might live and love you better.
Just a minute, eh? You know what Mike is saying? That part is not sacrificing. It is not sacrificing. That is a way of building. If Lois can, okay, Mike has come into the house and he just wants to watch whatever he writes, and Lois is there and knows that I'm building this marriage intentionally, then Lois will just allow it because I want to build that social intimacy.
You're being submissive.
Yeah.
Social. I'd forgotten about that one. Viewers, how submissive are you to your man? What are the struggles of being a submissive wife or a submissive husband in this regard? Send in your question, your comments across all our social media networks. That's GBS TV Africa. Our SMS line is 21144. We'll be back shortly.
Everywhere, GBS.
Welcome back, viewers. This is Chungu cha Jamii. Today we are talking about sex and intimacy. Before we went on a break, Madam here had mentioned about women submitting to their husbands. How submissive are you to your partner? Now, because submission is a two-way traffic. How submissive are you to your partner? How are you working out your relationship? What are the struggles? What are the challenges? What are the things that you're looking up to? What are you anchoring your relationship on? These are some of the things that we are talking about today. Join us, send in your question, your comments across all our social media networks. That's GBS TV Africa. Our SMS line is 21144. So before we went on a break, you mentioned about submission. And I agree that we should submit. I think when God created us, He gave us more knowledge or more grace in the submission part, because it's only women that we feel the pinch of submitting, in as much as it's a two-way traffic. So, on to asking, when you feel that in your relationship the spark that was there before, it's no longer there, or it's fading away, what do you need to do, or what do you do to reactivate or to rekindle back the light so that the marriage doesn't break apart? What would you say are some of the things that one should do or should look up to do to rekindle it back? In as much as different, you said, different institution, different roles, different everything. But what would you say generally, like we agree on communication? That one applies in every aspect. Now, generally, what would you say are the things that one should look onto to rekindle back a marriage or a relationship that it's like fading away? What would you say, starting with you, Mike?
Well, to begin with, you find that with time in marriage, the fact that now your partner is a mother, so it means that sacrifice becomes part and parcel, serving. So you find that the motherhood begins to cover the girl that you married. So one of the key things to do is try to find that girl that you married. There were those things that you did initially, before the responsibilities, before the children, before anything, the date nights, the laughter, you go out, you joke, the way you used to, the things you used to build that marriage that you came into. Those are the things you need to go back to, so that you find that girl that you married. Because if you're not careful, you will end up living with the mother of your children, and you forget the beautiful lady that you first laid your eyes on. You will end up forgetting what made you marry her. So you try your best to go back to those things. Once you do that, you'll realize that the person you married is still in there. Yes.
Okay, what is your take on the same? And also, how fast do you think that us ladies bounce back after having a baby to now in regards in working the same? Because most of the time we fade away because of the responsibilities that comes along with the family, having kids, that you also forget that there is a man in the house, that now they start to complain. How fast do we bounce back in the same?
Okay, at times it's not that easy, but I think through the help of God, and as we were told, for you to move on well, you have to be of the same faith. And being of the same faith, it becomes easier. When children come and they tend to take more of your attention, it's a bit harder for a woman to show attention to the man. But now the man has to understand the lady, and in understanding the lady, he will try to pull the lady on his side. Yeah.
Madam Faith, from your professional perspective, how fast should a lady bounce back to rekindle back the relationship, and how much should a man understand this lady?
Okay. Understanding should be there from day one, because as a man, you understand that you've married to progress, and progressing is having the babies and all that. Yeah. Therefore, when these kids come, then a man should understand my wife is having maybe hard time now. The little babies are crying at night, and what. So the man should at least understand that this is not the time. The baby is crying, and I also want to cry. Yeah. So the man should understand the right time to help the wife, and also the wife should know that the baby should not take the part of a man. So once we have kids, the children in this marriage, it should not, the kids should not be the ones to break that marriage. In fact, they should be there to strengthen this marriage. If both couples understand that this is a blessing that God has brought into this house, and then we should live with this blessing and also maintain our love as before.
Okay. Yeah. Now that we've talked so much about cultivating and working on intimacy, now maybe we can talk about the other aspects.
Yes.
So, how important is foreplay in marriage from the counselor perspective before we get to the couple?
Thank you. To have a satisfying sex, foreplay is very important, because, you know, with the responsibilities in this marriage, you can't just come and want your wife, right? I want it right now and now, yeah? You need to prepare this person by having that foreplay, yeah? You prepare her mind, you prepare his mind, so that when getting into that act of sexual intercourse, you're together emotionally. But if there is no foreplay, atini kuja hapa nataka, then that sex will not be fun, it will not be pleasurable. So foreplay is very important.
What is your perspective on the same about foreplay? How important is it? And since now it's a man and a woman, I believe what I perceive to be foreplay for me, it's different from the other person. Do you think that we need to sit down, discuss about it before, or should it come naturally? And if we allow it to come naturally, I'll maybe do what I think I'd want you to do for me, and you do the same. How now do we come to agreement for us to understand that we should be on the same page, on the same? Starting with you, madam.
Okay, foreplay is very important, and it doesn't start when you are about to do the act. It can start while he's at work, and I'm measuring pishori for customers. I just find a text from him talking good things about me, and in that case, I'll start getting prepared as early as during the day. Then when you come to the main time, you'll have less work, because sex starts in the mind, and it is in the mind. So if your mind is tuned to it, you'll be ready for it. Yeah.
Thank you for that. Mike, what is your take on the same?
My take is that foreplay should be a continuous process in any marriage. Look at it this way. If, as a Christian, I make a habit of praying every day, if I arrive on Sunday and maybe my pastor tells me, lead prayers, it becomes one of the easiest activities because I've been doing it. So foreplay is like cooking a meal. If you prepare it step by step, slowly by slowly, the end product shall be something very nice. But without that preparation, you'll realize that you will still eat, but the meal, compared to when it takes time, it will not be that nice. So foreplay is something that should be part and parcel of our day-to-day life as a married couple. In that, even if I just look at her, I look straight in her eyes and I tell her, you have lovely eyes. That is already foreplay in a way. By the time I'm arriving to where I want to arrive, it becomes so easy. I've been doing it. I've been planting. Now I'm just going to reap.
Well, now that you're running out of time, many questions that I had asked off the cameras, we'll ask them again for the next time that you come for the purpose of our viewers. But now that we're running out of time, I'd like to hear your parting shot on the same, starting with you, Madam Faith.
Thank you so much. I think sex and intimacy should be treasured in every marriage, and it should be done in the right way. It should be done also in a godly way, because also there are some other ways people are doing sex in marriage which are not godly way. So in marriage, and especially in Christian marriages, sex should be there, should be done intentionally and in a godly way. And to reach to that sex, you must be able to build intimacy, so that even when your partner is far away, you can feel the emotions. You can feel like when you have a partner who you're so intimate with, when they are having a problem somewhere, you feel it because you are emotionally connected. But if you're not emotionally connected, even when your partner has a problem, you can't realize. So it is good to build intimacy that will lead to a sex that is good for the marriage.
Wow, I think I love that. What about you, madam? What is your parting shots?
Okay, I would say sex is good, and as a married couple, sex is one of the things that brought you together. Because if it were not for that meal, it's a meal. I could have stayed at my parents' place and he stayed in his parents' place. But because we were to come together in marriage, sex is very important in marriage. Ladies should not excuse themselves denying their husbands sex. Sex is very important in marriage. That's what I can say.
Thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Mike.
I will say that intimacy is part and parcel of marriage. It's part and parcel. It is what connects an individual with his partner. So if you ignore the part of intimacy, when it comes to the part of sex, which is now the authorized platform by the Lord to interact with your emotions and the intimacy, you'll realize that sex is not such a very good thing because you did not lay the right foundation. So when it comes to intimacy and sex, lay the right foundation. Pray, just as you ask the Lord for a vehicle, pray for your sexual life so that the Lord may empower, the Lord may bless your sexuality. And with that, we will have a nice time as a couple. Do not let anything rob you of intimacy and sex, be it responsibility, be it children, be it friends. Let it not rob you of that moment that is precious before God.
Wow. I hope you've learned that don't let anything rob you from that precious gift that God has blessed or ordained when it comes to marriage. Let's continue this conversation offline. I know we've not answered all the questions, we have not tackled everything. I'll be sure to invite you again to come and continue with the same so that we can dive maybe more deeper into this, because I believe we only answered an eighth of what we are supposed to talk about. So yes, viewers, let's continue this conversation offline across all our social media networks. That's GBS TV Africa. Our SMS line is 21144. Till next time, have a nice time. Goodbye.